Good morning. My name's Josh, Jdw80550. This is my in the bag. This is my Voodoo Mojo. This is my primary bag. It holds my core bag. Occasionally I add other frisbees into this bag or change them out just so that I can get a full range. I love the Mojo. It has big storage pockets on the side. Lots of good pocket space, storage space, insulated pocket holders, good elastic spot to hold my scorebook, my record book. Just a solid bag. Like it a lot. Watch the bag review videos and you'll see why. Inside my bag, I have, let's start with the non-frisbee stuff first. I have a golden retriever, and I have my pocket stool. If you haven't had a pocket stool, they're super awesome, easy to set up, come together. I'm 5'7", so this one fits right for me. They do make some larger sizes. You have to normally go to a sporting goods store or military surplus. It's spotting stools that they have. I can only sit on this for about 4 to 5 minutes at the most before my legs will start falling asleep. So while that's fine for a tournament, if you're doing long rounds where you're going to be waiting for 30 minutes on a hole, which I've done before, it's not necessarily the best, and sometimes I wish I had a tripod. What I do like about it, though, is in my bag, I can take it and slide it right next to my frisbees, and it fits in perfect, and doesn't add a ton of weight. So, let's start with the frisbees. And I know, I'm sorry, I call them frisbees. There's going to be people out there that hate it and you want me to call them discs. I know they're discs, but for me, they're always frisbees. This is my Wizard, Special Blend Wizard, concave top. Give me a little floppy. Putting only. I use it for nothing but putting. I will not throw it for a drive, for an upshot. Putting only. I'm not going to lose it. I've got so many Wizards that I've got other ones that I will put into a bag if I think I'm going to be playing in a tournament and I'm going to need to like throw some upshots with a Wizard, so that way I don't have to worry about it. This is probably my favorite disc that I own. And I own a bunch of them. This is a scale. This is a fossil scale. Super hard, super stiff. Throw it on those hyzers, let it fade back. Standstill upshots is my favorite with this. Whereas if I was trying to throw a standstill upshot with a Wizard and it floats a little bit before it gently comes down, this will truly hold that up and down without being so crazy as like a Justice or something that you're trying to figure it out. Even the zones at times that I've thrown have been a little more than I wanted. This has the right amount of fade without adding too much glide or too much speed onto it. We'll throw it for some touch forehands coming up and across. But yeah, scale's awesome. I put a little picture on it in case y'all can't see. It says grape shot, or that's a wine throw, because sometimes you need a grape shot. You're sitting there and you need a grape shot. And sometimes you just need a wine throw. It's all about what's in the brain. Alright, so moving on to mids. You'll notice all my discs are color coordinated. I'm OCD about these things. I have blue and orange or blue and pink, but they always alternate coming across. It's an OCD thing for me, but also it really helps me pay attention to see if, ooh, I left one. Ooh, I lost one. What did I lose? Where did I lose it? Easy way for me to track and go back. Blues, surprisingly enough, are fairly easy to find. Oranges and pinks are great. I take the oranges out in the fall because the leaves get in there, and pink and blue work. Blue and pink are a great combo in the snow in the winter, surprisingly enough. The orange is pretty good too. Orange is great for spring, summer, and the winter as well. So, we'll start with mids. Z Comet. I've got a bunch of Z Comets. This is the one that I use in this bag in particular. It's a little more beat up, a little bit flippier. but it's a 176. Most of my Comets are 178s, 180s, so they hold that stability a little longer. This one's a little bit shorter, quicker turns, big floaty shots, a lot of finesse with this one, but it's a great disc nonetheless. Love the Comets. I've been throwing Comets for a long time. I've tried to go away from them, and I always end up coming back. This is a Z Buzz, max weight Z Buzz, straight with slight fade. If I put an Annie on it, it's going to hold that Annie the whole way. Good disc. The more and more I've been throwing these, I've only been throwing these for about the last year, but the more and more I throw the Buzz, the more and more I like it, the more and more I see why people like it. I always wanted to be that guy that didn't like the popular discs. They're popular for a reason, I guess. Then I get to my money makers in my mids. Mids and fairways really are where I throw most of my shots, and I throw them well because they're controllable and I can put the extra distance onto them. This is a Z Wasp, tight flexes, big hyzers that come through. This is like my main thrower as a Wasp. Most of my Z Wasps are my main throwers. This one I'm working in. It's pretty new, so beating it up a little bit. It's a 176, so a little bit lighter than what I normally throw. This is a Ledgestone ESP Wasp from last year. Saw them on sale at Marshall Street. Thought, I'll give it a shot. I had thrown some ESPs before and was with them. These are money. Super flat, super stable. This is a 180. I ordered like 4 of them, all 180, so that way I had backups. I kind of wish I had gone down in weight because they're so beefy. Almost like a lightly beat up drone beefy, or a gator beefy. I try to throw it on an Annie and it wants to flip out real fast. So short hyzers, tight hyzers that I really want to put it on. It's a good disc. Does skips well. And this ESP is much tougher than some of the other ESPs. But Wasps, love the Wasps. So then we'll go to fairway drivers that I have. Start out with my understable ones. This is a SP Undertow. I love the undertows, but I really only love the undertows in the sparkle plastic. Tried the pro lines and they were just too touchy, too flippy for me. But the sparkle ones, I love it. They can hold a straight shot and fade down, or put a little bit more power on it and it'll be a natural turnover. Put a lot on it and you can turn it into a good roller. Really nice discs. I like them a lot. I try to compare them to a driver Comet, where it's a good utility disc. It's not understable, but it is neutral across the board. Love those a lot. Then I have T-Birds. This is a Star T-Bird. I use it for long panning Annies that I need to hold flat, maybe bail out just a touch at the end, or throwing it flat, letting it drift to the right a little bit, fade back to center. This one in particular, I don't care for the plastic as much. It's a little bit flimsier, a little bit cheaper. It's that Run a Star that everybody was like, I don't think so. Yeah, it's that one. But it serves its purpose. It does what I need it to do in that role. This one is a STB T-Bird. It's an old X-Out that I got a bunch of, and yeah, they're money. It feels solid. It feels good. Throws smooth hyzers with it. I can put it on that big tight S and have it hold through the whole way, where it won't pan too far. It'll pan just a hair and then fade back to straight. If I throw it hard and flat, it's going to fly straight before it fades back. Gotten 2 aces with different ones of these. But yeah, these are the money ones. I love them a lot. Thank you. This is Rebecca. Say hi, Rebecca. This is Paul. Say hi, Paul. They're my kids. They play Frisbee whether they like to or not, don't you?
I want to play.
No, I want to play, yeah.
Hey, I hear that!
So this is a sparkle crank. It's from the Ledgestone last year. I like cranks. I've been throwing cranks since they came out as pretty much my main distance driver. But I kept finding that they were getting too flippy. And I was putting, unless I put just the right amount of touch onto it, they would start turning and turning and turning and either wouldn't come out or would go back at another point without enough fade. So I got one of the sparkle ones thinking, oh, maybe it'll be like the Undertows, and it is. It will pan and pan and pan, but it'll still fade back solid. If I throw it on an ante, it'll hold the ante the whole way, unless it's an error on my end and I bail out too early. Throwing it on a hyzer, it'll flip up to flat, go straight, and then fade back. So SB cranks, like those a lot. The regular Z cranks are like this, but probably feel like they're beat up. But I like them a lot. Other drivers, like I said, I was throwing cranks for a long time, but I was upset that I couldn't find something that faded back a little bit more. Had tried destroyers, had tried a bunch of other stuff that fit kind of in that range. Dynamic came out with the Defender a few months ago, and man, I dig it. I really, really like these. Workable, but beefy fade at the end regardless. Hold straight if I throw it straight, and then will fade back at the end if I want it to. I can throw it on a big S, and it'll pan and then flip out. This is a 166. It is the lightest disc I own, and I really like it. I did not expect to like it as much as I have. I'm going to be getting some Fusion ones and a Bio Fusion here in the next week, so hopefully those will take over for the crank, unfortunately. I'm hoping that I can get some of those lighter and they'll just be able to cycle through Defenders. And then I have a max weight Defender, really just for hyzers, big beefy hyzers, or if I really want to try to put something on a big ante and try to let it come back hard, some of those big Sky S shots, things like that. That's what I really like these Defenders for. They're a good disc to have. So with that, that's my bag. Pretty simple, pretty easy, but it's a solid bag. Thanks for watching. Hope it worked.